Hello and welcome back to the channel. As I said on, I believe it was 2 episodes of the One Report ago, the One Report on this channel, I said I was going to talk about Mikey Musumeci leaving One in more detail and a couple more things, and then I thought I should wait because I saw some things that maybe hinted at him signing to the UFC or doing something with the UFC, and it ended up happening. So here we are today on this channel to talk about Mikey Musumeci signing to the UFC. So if you've missed this news, Dana White did a video on social media yesterday where he said that UFC Fight Pass, the Fight Pass Invitational, if you don't know, that's their submission grappling event that happens at the Apex. They have signed Mikey Musumeci to a first ever exclusive UFC grappling deal. Mikey Musumeci, for those people who don't know, is a former world champion in One Championship. He was their flyweight submission grappling world champion. He is one of the best grapplers on the planet today. An absolutely ridiculous list of accolades. Unbeaten at his natural weight class in, I think it's like 8 years or something like that. Even then, his last defeat, which was upper weight class, he went and avenged recently in One Championship. So Mikey Musumeci is kind of as good as it gets in submission grappling. Before we get to the UFC stuff, I guess we should talk about his time in One Championship. If you guys watch the One Report, well, I really stumbled over that. You will know that I already spoke about this, but we will quickly chat about it here. So this was Mikey's statement that he put out to announce that he would be leaving One Championship. He was supposed to compete at 168. That happened at the start of September. It would have been a grappling super fight against Cade Ruotolo, which would have meant Mikey going up to lightweight, so several weight classes. That fight fell through, I believe on like Fight Week or something. Cade withdrew. Mikey agreed to defend his flyweight title on short notice at the event, which meant cutting down multiple weight classes. As a result, he missed weight, failed his hydration test, and because of that, One stripped him of the flyweight belt. And it kind of seemed, as I spoke about in the episode The One Report, where we reacted to this news, like Mikey would be on his way out. I kind of felt like it made sense for both parties. It felt like he'd done everything that he could do in One, apart from that Cade matchup. And it kind of felt like, it just felt like the right time, I think, to part ways. And as a result, we have him signing to the UFC. I realize I'm cutting off a bit of the statement here, but you can go check this out on Mikey's Instagram if you want to. During his time in One, submission grappling in One is a complicated subject. I know that it is not to everybody's taste. For me personally, my thing has always been I'm interested in the stories and the careers of these athletes, and I will always take an interest in somebody who is the best at what they do. And watching Mikey, you are watching one of the best at what he does. He has a very unique style as well. Pulls off some very, very impressive submissions. You can look at his record here during his time in One. All wins. Avenged his loss to Gabriel Souza, ticked that box off, had a crossover fight with an MMA fighter, Jared Brooks. Got some other big wins, got to have a match with Imanari, which I'm sure was a cool moment for him, and Aoki. Yeah, like I said, I think kind of run its course, his career in One. So he's going to be competing under the UFC Fight Pass banner. What am I looking for? Instagram. This will be his debut here on December 5th at the UFC Apex, where he'll take on Felipe Machado at the UFC Fight Pass Invitational 9. You can actually, I keep just switching the screens, so I apologize about that. But you can actually, if you want to read all the details and stuff like that, I did cover this already today over on MMA News. So you can check out all of the details here, the video. Dana White's quote here: over the course of the last year, I've been working on developing the best Brazilian jiu-jitsu program in the world. I'm excited to announce that I'm reading this too fast. That we've signed Mikey Musumeci to the first ever exclusive BJJ promotional agreement in the company's history. If you don't know, Mikey's considered by many to be the best BJJ player in the world, and he is a multiple-time world champion and beaten over the past 8 years at 135 pounds. This will be the first of many we will sign over the coming months, and that's quite interesting. because Mikey, in many ways, was one of the flagship signings by One Championship as they wanted to progress it into submission grappling. You, of course, had 4 world champions as kind of the 4 flag bearers, I would say, of One submission grappling, that being Mikey at flyweight, Cade at lightweight, Cade's brother Ty Ruotolo at welterweight, and then Danielle Kelly at atomweight. And when you look at it now, One submission grappling is in a little bit of a evolution phase, I guess, or like a rebirth phase, because you've got Mikey is gone, Cade is predominantly focused on MMA, Ty is injured at the moment, but it seems like he will also be focusing on MMA in the near future, and Danielle Kelly lost her title to Mesa Bastos. They're going to be rematching in December. And then you have the UFC go and get Mikey and announce that they're going to be signing more talent, and really, it seems like putting more emphasis into submission grappling. So it's a bit of a weird period. I mean, personally, like I said, I think that I'm probably more, what's the word? Invested in this kind of stuff than most people, because I have watched a lot of submission grappling due to it, covering One Championship. And I've watched a lot of Mikey Musumeci, and he's a guy that I enjoy, talking about and covering during the build up to his contests, because he is one of the best at what he does, and he's an incredibly interesting person as well, and a really, really great advocate for jiu-jitsu, I think. So I think that if the UFC were going to go out and get anybody, I think that it would be obvious that they would go for, if they had Gordon Ryan grapple for them in the past, I believe they have, right? You would look at Gordon, obviously, Mikey and Cade would be the 3, I think, that you can really challenge the likes of One Championship. Karate Combat do grappling now, obviously, and then the more established, grappling competitions like ADCC, but then also the Craig Jones Invitational, which has been a big talking point in the jiu-jitsu world this year. So I think this is interesting. I'm happy for Mikey if this is, I'm sure this will be a cool opportunity for him. And I think it'll be cool to see what the UFC kind of do with him, and what they do with submission grappling, whether they bring in some names and stuff like that. One have already started to bring in some new names for their submission grappling divisions. I know that I can't remember the guy's name now off the top of my head, but he's been matched with Shinya Aoki for December. So clearly One are going to keep this going. I seriously questioned when Mikey left. Like I said, Cade and Ty look like they're going to be focused on MMA. Danielle Kelly lost her title. I seriously thought whether, they're just going to be done with submission grappling. Because it's not like you see them hosting regular submission grappling matchups. It was pretty much just the champions who were competing, and then the odd contenders match and things like that. So I thought they might just be done with it in general. But let me know what you think about this. I'm sure a lot of you who regularly watch this channel probably don't care about submission grappling. So if you're new here, drop the video a like and all that good stuff, and let me know. But what do people think about this? What do people think of Mikey leaving One to sign with the UFC? What do they think of the UFC investing more in submission grappling? Will that make you more interested in watching submission grappling? All that kind of stuff, let me know. Let's get talking in the comments, because I'm interested to see what people think, because like I said, I think this probably means more to me than it does most people, because I probably will tune in and watch Mikey Musumeci wherever he went. But I do already have UFC Fight Pass, so that does make it easier. Thank you for checking out this video. I'm sure I will see you all soon, but if I don't, peace.